Hey guys, here we are. We're doing another Q&A session here for all of your real estate questions. So whatever you got, send them on over. I've got quite a list this week actually from other clients and people I've talked to that have questions that we're going to be talking about. So we've got some big announcements and then all of those big questions. So we'll start with the questions because that's what you guys care about, right? So the first one that I had was, are Zestimates accurate and can I trust that for my home value? And the quick answer is it's all based on an algorithm. I would say they're probably not our most accurate sense. If you guys are on our list and get a home equity report every month or a couple times a year, those are going to be a lot more accurate than you'll find on a Zestimate. If you're just trying to gauge really quick, by all means, use the Zillow one. If you want to know a better one, just let me know. It just takes us a second to run. Shoot me an email or give me a call, text, whatever. Send me a message here, and we can get one of those sent over to you pretty quickly. So the Zestimates they're okay. I wouldn't say that they're super accurate with what's going on in the market. They're a lot of times still taking into account things that have closed a very long time ago, things that really aren't on the market anymore, stuff like that. So there's some challenges with those. The second one, we've talked about seller carries a little bit recently, with interest rates being about 6.5. Good news, they're down out of the 7s right now. But with interest rates being higher than what they have been and our market being a little bit slower than it has been as well, some sellers are actually incentivizing buyers to come and take a look at their property by offering a seller carry. And what that means is that me as the buyer I don't have to go get a mortgage with a mortgage person. I can go direct to the seller and say, will you finance me and carry that loan? And so what that looks like is each month when I'm paying a normal mortgage payment and I'm used to making those mortgage payments to big banks, the seller actually is going to be your new bank. So you're going to make a mortgage payment to them every month and you're going to give your down payment to them directly off the bat. But that's how those get structured. And so oftentimes it's a really good deal for the seller because they're making interest on their price. And so they end up making more for the property in the long run. It's a great thing for the buyers because right now you might be able to get a lower interest rate and a lower payment. And so if you're looking at investing, that's a great opportunity to see if you can make a property cash flow. So those are kind of the deals that we've structured recently are largely for investors where it's, some cash up front, but you get a much lower payment. And so you're able to cash flow in a market that we haven't seen a whole lot of cash flow in over the last year and a half for new investors who are coming in with a mortgage. So if you want more information, want to kind of run through what that would look like, I'm happy to help. The third one, I've gotten a lot of questions, and I personally was struggling trying to find a really good resource for which HOAs in town allow short-term rentals and what the rules are. There's no overarching database that I can find, so we're working on creating one. So if I can have help, if you guys know what your rules are inside your HOA, non-HOA properties, it's pretty open, you can do that. But if you have an HOA and you know what your rules are, I would love it if you could share that. We're trying to compile a master list, and then if you're interested in an Airbnb, we've got some of that research done ahead of time already. So it's going to be a huge bonus for those investor clients who are looking for a property like that. So that's kind of fun. A lot of the communities and a lot of the focus, there's a lot of short-term rental laws that are changing right now. So you kind of have to pay attention to what those are. And of course, like, play by the rules. You don't want an X on your back from the get-go. But keep in mind what those are. Scottsdale is kind of the biggest one that's kind of leading that charge. A lot of the other cities are actually starting to kind of roll through some things and starting to adopt some changes. So just keep an eye on things if you're interested in the short-term rental stuff. Our market right now. Our market, you guys know I follow the Cromford Report, which is like our local real estate economist, and they have a ton of graphs and a ton of charts and a ton of tracking, and I love every bit of it. They have something called the Cromford Market Index, which measures the level of supply in our current market and the level of demand in our current market as it relates to what would be normal and our normal, local our normal in the Phoenix metro. So our supply is has actually dropped a little bit. So we've dropped almost 2,000 units in the last month or 6 weeks. So that's kind of exciting. So that means that listings aren't coming to market as fast as they were for a very little bit there, and they're coming off the market in either canceling and expiring through the holidays. They're getting under contract. They're selling, things like that. So our active supply levels are dropping. So they're like 18,500, so 18,500 ish today. So what our buyer level is, though, our buyer level is hovering at about like 78, 79% of what would be normal. So that's still low, coupled with our supply that's lowering every day, and they're starting to come back to where they would meet. So we would still, say we're like a very, very weak buyer's market, just out of a seller's market, just out of balance. And that's actually starting to push back. Sellers are starting to push back on that. And just because of the supply and demand lines, we might actually see that come back to balance and out of the buyer's market here. And we'll have to watch what our spring selling season does when we hit in like mid-February through March, April, June, and July. So this could switch back into a seller's market. We'll have to wait and see. It's a little early to say that a trend is forming, but it's something that I'm definitely keeping an eye on. So our market stopped dropping as far as the market index goes and has been rising. I think the last date that it started rising on was November 28th. So what is that? Almost 2 weeks. So that's kind of exciting. Keeping an eye on that one. The other thing, some of you guys saw on social media that I was asked to speak on a wealth building panel. So if you know, we own 6 stores and have those rented either short-term, mid-term rental, which is 30 days to like 3 or 4 months-ish. And then we also have a long-term rental. So we have kind of a few different options, and we're familiar with the different ways that you can invest in residential real estate right now. I am happy to share, we're coming up on the new year. It is time to start setting some goals, figure out your New Year's resolutions. A lot of people are asking me to help them understand and learn how to build wealth. So I wrote down a couple of things that you got to do just to start off. The first one is to run your net worth number. And if you guys aren't familiar with what that is, it's everything you own. So like your house, your car, if you've got a bunch of fancy jewelry, artwork, furniture, electronics, whatever, all of that stuff, minus what you owe on all of that. So minus mortgages, minus credit cards, minus car payments, and those are total balances, and that will actually give you your net worth. So let's play with easy numbers. Say I have $1 million house, I owe $500,000 on it. My net worth is $500,000. That's the remaining. Does that make sense? Hopefully. So that's going to be really, really important, is to figure out what that net worth number is to start with. And if it's negative, that's okay. You now know what you need to do to be able to build your wealth, is get rid of all of those debts, pay those down as fast as you can, and stop buying depreciating assets. So a car, for example, is a depreciating asset. We all know as soon as you drive it off the lot, it goes down in value. Those are not what you want to be spending your money on. You want to be investing in things that actually grow. So stock market, stocks would be a good example. ETFs, let's kind of forget the last 6 months where they haven't been growing, but as an overall arcing investment plan, they should be growing in value and increasing in what your stock market portfolio would look like. Real estate would be another one. Artwork in some circles are one of those. There's a whole long list. Those are kind of the ones that I am familiar with. The second question you want to know is what your retirement age is and what kind of an income you want to have when you retire. And so there's something called a 4% rule. So if you have like $1 million stashed in the bank, if you take 4% of that every year, that should be kind of the residual income that you're making off of that you can live on, and you can still keep your nest egg so that you can, you're not going to like outlive your money type of thing. It's one of those strange calculations. So do some research on the 4% rule and really figure out what kind of a lifestyle you want to live. And then does that mean that you have to make some harder choices now and budget and be a little bit stricter with your money now to be able to live the way that you want to in 5, 10, 15, whatever years. So I will say if your net worth is negative right now, after you've run that and gotten some clarity around it, you need to probably sit down and figure out some budgets. You need to figure out some things to cut. People are talking about recessions and things like that for next year. So this might be a really good time to even, get some clarity and some understanding about where your money is going and what it's going to, and is that a necessity or not? Is that something you can cut? And figure out a way to increase your savings and reduce your debts. So if you have questions, let me know. Phone number here, 602-748-6136. That's my direct cell. You can always call the office line, 480-518-9907, or shoot me an email. It's Chelsea, CHELSEA, at yourreddoorteamaz, like Arizona.com. And the last thing that I want to talk about is actually something that we've been working on for a few months now. It's a brand new referral brokerage. So what that means is for all of you agents out there who are thinking about retiring, the market has shifted and you don't want it anymore, that's fine. But you've been working to build up a database or a past client list or whatever. Or if you are in a different gig, say you're like a teacher, for example, where in Arizona, notoriously, teacher salaries aren't super high, but you're looking for a side gig, this could be really, really cool. We do have a free to you real estate school. So you can go through that and get your license for no cost to you. And then you can join our referral brokerage, which is going to be there's really no fees to join it if you don't want to. So you can partner with an agent like me or like one of our top producers in our office, and we can take over working your database because we have the systems and the experience and things like that, and you can go do what you want to do. So this is a great retirement plan, great if you have a different job and you've been trying to do this part-time and struggling. Hand it over to a full-time agent who's going to devote time, effort, and resources into this, and take home some referral fees. So really, really excited. The website is valleywidepartners.com, and the brokerage is Valleywide Partners. So we're really excited to launch that. I've blasted that around a little bit in the last day or two on my Facebook page. So if you have questions about that, shoot me a text, email, whatever. Check out the website. We would love to have you come and talk to us and see what it's all about and see if that's a good fit for you. So kind of fun. We'll see you guys let me find my calendar. Our next Facebook Live is actually going to be on the 23rd, right before Christmas. So if you have questions on anything, shoot them over. We'll get those answered in 2 weeks from today, and we will talk to you guys soon. Have a good weekend. Thanks.